Awesome, like.
In the language of India, the Bhagavati, the Prajna Paramita Hridaya. In the language of Tibet, Chumden Dema, Sherab, Ki Paro Tupe Tuchin Paninpo. In the English language, the Blessed Mother, the heart of transcendent perfection of wisdom. Homage to the Bhagavati, Prajna Paramita.
You want to use my sound?
Thus I have heard, at one time the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajgriha at Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered an absorption on the categories of phenomena called the perception of the profound. At the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva and great being, beheld the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, and saw that the five aggregates are empty of nature. Then, through the Buddha's power, Venerable Shariputra said to the noble Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva and great being, how should a child of noble family who wishes to practice the profound perfection of wisdom train? This is what he said. And the noble Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva and great being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. O Shariputra, a son of noble family or a daughter of noble family who wishes to practice the profound perfection of wisdom should regard things in this way. They should see the five aggregates to be empty of nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, sensation, recognition, conditioning factors, and consciousness are emptiness. Therefore, Shariputra, all the dharmas are emptiness. They are without characteristics. They are unarisen and unceasing. They are not tainted and not untainted. They are not deficient and not complete. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no sensation, no recognition, no conditioning factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visible form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no texture, and no mental objects. There is no I element up to no mind element, and as far as no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, up to no age, no old age and death, no extinction of old age and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since bodhisattvas have no attainment, they rely on and abide by the perfection of wisdom. Since their minds are unobscured, they have no fear. They completely transcend error and reach the ultimate nirvana. All the Buddhas throughout the three times fully awaken to unsurpassed, genuine, and complete enlightenment by the means of the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra that equals the unequal, the mantra that pacifies all suffering, is not false and should thus be understood to be true. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed as follows. Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisoha. Shariputra, a bodhisattva and great being, should train at the profound perfection of wisdom in this way. Thereupon the Blessed One arose from that absorption and commended Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva and great being. Excellent, excellent indeed, O son of noble family. That is how it is. That is just how it is. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you have taught. And then even the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Venerable Shariputra and the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva and Great Being, together with the whole assembly, world of gods, human beings, asuras, and Gandharvas, rejoice and praise the speech of the Blessed One. Thus concludes the Mahayana Sutra of the Blessed Mother, the heart of the transcendent perfection of wisdom.
Thank you, Dennis. So welcome back, everyone. So for today's opening session, opening meditation, so we will go back to the first type of meditation that we did for our second session. So we will do again the basic one, which is based on our breath. So we'll do the breathing meditation. So this breathing meditation, we can refer this meditation as shamatha, but in order to call that as a shamatha, we have to consider two things. So we have to we have to focus on our breath, and at the same time we have to focus on our own consciousness, that is focusing on the breath. Otherwise, if you are just concentrating on the breath, then I'm not so sure whether it's called shamatha or not, because you don't know what you are doing right now. So I think it is Thich Nhat Hanh who has said that, you know, although it seems that you're eating, but you're not eating. So you may think that you are concentrating on the breath, your breath, but if you are not aware of that concentration, then you are not really like concentrating on the breath. So that is the I think sometimes we have this misunderstanding of what is the vipassana and what is the shamatha sometimes. So that's how I feel like. I mean, it should not always be me right and others wrong, but this is how I understand the shamatha and the vipassana usually. So so two things: concentrate on the breathing, and simultaneously you have to be aware of that concentrating mind same time. It doesn't mean that that the mind, there is two mind. We have quite a discussed quite a lot during the discussing the text, because even in the so Tantrika system, they talk about two aspects of the mind. The aspect of the aware, and then aspect of the object, right? So here the object is our breath, and then the other side of the mind, or the other aspect of the mind is not like, you know, the two side of a coin. So if you think about these two aspects of the mind as two sides of a coin, then I think it's not properly understanding, but rather it is like when you have a transparent glass, and then if you put something on the back of the that glass, then you will see that particular thing that you have put behind that glass, but at the same time you will see the clarity of this glass as well, right? Through the glass you see that object, and then you see the clarity of the glass is there. So the most important thing here is to understand the glassness, you know, the transparent glass, rather than the object behind. So here, when we're concentrating on the breath, it definitely, the breath is important, but the most important is a mind that is concentrating on the breath. So if you are able to do that, then I think you can call it you can call your meditation as a shamatha meditation. Otherwise, you will not know like when the timer like alert, and then if you feel like if you get kind of shocked, then that means you are not really concentrating well. Like if you get kind of like the it's not a big panic, but sometimes when you are meditating and then when you're the ring like alert, then you get kind of like this panicking, there's very short small type of panicking attack in your body or whatever, mind. So if that is happening, it means that you are not aware, really. Meditation is not a distraction, really. It's not to distract you one point from the another. So if you are having that kind of experience, then you are, it's very similar that, you distract yourself from one object to another object. So this is not a big deal. I mean, we usually do that. So if you sometimes we listen to music to distract ourselves, right? And sometimes I don't know, what do you do? Sometimes we watch series, movies, and sometimes we go to bar. Right. So we do so many things to distract ourselves, and it works quite well sometimes, but it is not called meditation, right? It doesn't call meditation because you are not aware of that action that you are trying to do, or you are imposing yourself and then distracting yourself. So that's why two thing, please keep in mind. um, uh, and again, that color and the object that you see behind the transparent glass uh, is not in the glass, right? And but you can see in that glass, that transparent glass, right? You can see. At the same time, you can also see the clarity of the glass. So likewise, when you uh, um, concentrate on the breath, you have to understand the clarity of the mind that is having that mental image of the breathing, right? So when we concentrate on the breath, maybe let's say first you concentrate more on the outer breath, that you are really, mm, like exhaling and then inhaling. But there should be time that you should be looking at the uh, breath that you have in your head. And then when you started to see that breath, then I think you have kind of some stability to see both the clarity of the mind and then see the breath at the same time. Because now that breath and then that mind is not two things now. It's the one now. Because it's mental now. It's mental. It's happening in your head. If you are really like focusing on the outer breath, then again you are just looking at the breath, and now you have lost your the aspect of looking at the awareness, right? So yeah. Any question, like, hello?
Yes, I have question.
Okay, go on.
So very much for the explanation. That is all very new to me. How do I find the glass?
Mm.
I know
Oh,
I know I have the breath, but how do I find the? How do I know I am paying attention to the mind that is watching the breath or anything else?
oh, this is really difficult question. Like, how do I know I'm alive? I should pinch myself like some. Really, yeah, that is the really like difficult question. Looks very easy, but difficult question. Like, how do you really like look at the glass, the mind, right? So uh so I would suggest first you start with the looking at the outer breath, okay, and then the outer breath that you are looking at, and then uh the object that you have in your mind, right? Object that you have in your mind, and then object that you are really breathing in your channels or whatever from stomachs. That's two different things. Two different things, you agree, right? So uh after some times, like, let's say like one round and the second round, and then you started to look at that, mental, uh, you know the object, rather than thinking that it's happening in your, like, the body itself. It's very much like, the visualization now. It's very much visualization. We visualize the deities and all, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of us, right? If if you have done the Tantra's practice, or even in the sutras, we have this kind of practice. Anyway, so now we have to do really in that way. Otherwise, I'm telling you, it's too dualistic, very dualistic. If you look at the outer breath, it's very dualistic. So because you have object that is completely different from the subject. But if when you started to look at the mental object, then the mind that's looking at the object and then object, they are not two different things now. They're not two different things. So I mean, just imagine, you have a glass, and then you put something behind that, and then I mean, your eyes can gaze to the object, can focus the object that's behind, and then sometimes you can also like gaze on the glass, then the behind the object behind.
Yeah, that's the part I don't know how to find. Like our feeling, my feeling is also mental, and I
Yes.
find that I can watch my feeling,
Okay.
but I think that's the only thing I know how to watch. To watch the mind, the breathing, or people say watch your thoughts. I can't differentiate me thinking or me watching my thoughts. So, well, I know this takes practice. It just takes cushion time. But where do I start? Maybe is there a starting point?
Yeah, I think the starting point, this is how we start really, like right now. So first when you do the like breathing meditation, you try to see the outer breath, and then at a point, you know don't look at the outer breath, but yeah, outer breath is happening, but you have something in your mind. You are like perceiving, and that that you have this your mind detects that there is, and the breathing is happening, right? So that, look at that object, the
Okay,
mental object, and then I think
then I'm just a little bit closer.
Yeah, then you are closer, I think.
Okay,
You're
I'll try
closer.
that.
Yeah,
Try
you're
that.
closer.
Thank you.
At that point. Yeah, I think this is a really important question, but I'm not sure whether I have answered you really. Okay. Anyone? Yeah, okay. Elizabeth, okay, go on.
Can I offer this as an example? You know
Okay.
how you drive down the road in your car and you've got the windshield wipers going? You know that the windshield wipers are going. Look past the windshield wipers. Do you understand that? I was just
Yeah.
trying to give a demonstration of how you look past. You don't get caught watching the windshield wipers. You slowly learn how to look past them. Does that
Mhm.
help? Is that a helpful example?
Okay, good. Thank you.
I'll
Okay.
still be looking outward if I'm look past the windshield wiper. I'm not looking inward.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
Okay, Jocelyn, go on.
Kembola, my question is
Yeah.
that the concentration, it's very short, no matter inner or outer. If you look at outer, when you breathe, you look at your outer breath, it's all only momentary, and then your mind have other things going on. Is that what you call awareness? Your awareness actually go to somewhere else. Then when you aware that you are somewhere else, you come.
Yeah, I think you make two big points here. When you say the outer breath, it doesn't matter outer breath or inner mental mental breath, momentary, right? Momentary. Yeah. Big thing. That is our goal, really. To see each moment, if you are able to see each moment, and if you are able to catch each moment, I don't think you will have any problem at all.
My question is, when you say that each moment, that moment should be blank, right? It's like you just blank, like you just nothing. When you say that moment, how do you describe that moment? Okay. Because when you're aware of your breath, you're aware of your breath. When you're not aware of your breath, your mind was something else. And there should be something in between. And you want to catch that in between, and how do you describe that?
Okay, so then meaning that when I'm aware of the moment, then I'm aware, and then I'm my mind shifted from that awareness, then the mind is my mind is different, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And so so there's a gap between them. You think?
Yes. Yeah.
Gap between there's no gap between them. Because our mind, the lifetime of the mind is only one moment. Only one moment. So when I'm aware of the whole process of the event of the mind, then I'm aware. But as soon as I shifted my shift my the concentration to the others, then that moment that stream stop, and then it's now shifted to the other, but there's no gap between them. It's just the next moment. It's just the next moment. There's no gap between the distraction and then the concentration.
But then when you say that next moment, that means in terms of time. The first moment, second moment in terms of time. But when you say lifetime, it's just one moment. You say that earlier, right?
What was that? Light moment?
Yeah, you mean one lifetime of one moment? Is that how you say earlier? There's a one moment in lifetime. Did you just say that?
today or before I don't know.
Just right now, just a few sentences ago.
Okay, no, I think I mispronounced or something like that.
Okay.
But the in Buddhist context, the moment is like, you know, if I'm a strong guy, then this snap,
Yeah.
right? If I break this snap into 60, or some says 60 or some says 64,
Mm-hmm.
one part is the one moment.
Okay.
That is the one moment's this is how we measure the one moment.
Yeah.
So break that into 64.
Yeah.
And then pick one. That's the one moment. I don't
see.
know how long it is.
I see. But not from the clock time, not the clock time.
No.
Okay.
No, not clock time. Clock time is very gross.
I see. I got it. And then so what we were trying to say that there was no gap in between one, you shift your awareness from one object to the next object. There was no gap. Then what is, then how do you meditate to find that? You say the moment of you really in the meditation. If there's no gap in between, there must be a gap in between that you be able to make that stop.
Okay, so I would say, like, you know, if we are able to, like, just follow, I don't think, you know, we can start from the moment, really. I don't think we can start from the moment. It's impossible to start from the moment. No, but rather, you know, when we look at we there's okay, the mind, the way our mind function is momentarily, and then it sees the momentary, but we do not noticing, and then, you know, the functioning of mind is completely two different things. Okay, the most of the time, when our mind is, you know, aware of itself, then it's all the time happening as a non-conceptual way. But when we say notice, then it's always kind of the conceptual. In order to conceptualize, you know, it is impossible to conceptualize in one moment. No, you need many moments, and then only after that you can conceptualize. So so here maybe you are thinking that, you know, because you know, when we say notice and then be aware, then you know, it seems like, you know, it's really like quite a long time. It's not like that, like one part of the 64s, like that one moment. That's why I think, you know, this is just my assumption, okay, uh, because that's why you think that you should have a gap. But in terms of the mechanism of the mind itself, it's just happening momentarily, but it's only that we cannot really catch the moment. And when we meditate, we are trying to catch that moment. Really, what we are trying to do is catch that moment that is happening so quickly. We are trying to catch that moment, and then you know, catching the moment is not ultimate goal. Even that is not ultimate goal, not at all. uh After you are able to catching the moment, then you have to even break that down, the moment, to the smaller parts, and then again you have to lose that moment.
That means when you mention that moment means a non-conceptual moment, because when you're able to describe from one focus to the other, that's conceptualized, right?
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
a concept. And so when you say you want to catch that moment, is the moment of a non-conceptual moment.
Yes, yes, yes.
And once you catch it, you conceptualize it again. You have to let it go again.
Yeah, I think this is how we this is how our mind seems to be function right now, at least, because we are in that situation, right? So we are trying to break that condition. So when we are trying to being aware of the mechanism or the natural state of the natural function or functionality of the mind, so we are trying to catch that moment, and then even after that we have to break that moment, break it into that moment, and then you will go to the Buddha nature. Okay. Okay.
What do you mean by
Kira?
lose the moment?
Okay, I'm just wondering, when we start off breathing, you sit there and you're aware, first of all, it's an intentional breathing to kind of get you started. And then gradually, it seems like there's no thinking about the fact that you're breathing, but eventually it seems like there's a blending of the breath itself. So you're no longer thinking about the breathing. You're no longer aware that it's the physical sensation of breathing, but you are also feeling the blending of this whole awareness of breathing. And it's like, so you are not thinking about it anymore. So when you say mental state of breathing, it becomes confusing to me. So is that what you were trying to say? I mean, the blending, like just a sensation of like a spaciousness of that awareness that suddenly seems to merge with a physical breathing mechanism that suddenly kind of the grossness kind of melts away. I mean, it becomes like you're just aware that this is a spacious thing that's happening. Is that correct?
I like that that word that you use, the blending, right? The blending. Yeah, I like that word because usually what we do is we have something in our mind, and then we completely think that this is something that is outside, right? We don't think, oh, this is just a mental thing. No, so when you see this thing, you would just think that, oh, he's having something in his hand, right? You don't think that, oh, it's in my mind. Now when you said blending, if you are able to think that that is my mind, and that is not different from the object that I'm seeing, so that's now blend. The object and then mind, now it's blend. That I think good word to use in that way, I think. If you so and then is how do you like pronounce B?
BLENDING.
No, sorry, I'm asking the question. She asked B.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, you. How do you say your name? B?
B, like the bumblebee?
Okay, B. Okay,
It's
B,
just
okay.
part of my first name. Yeah.
Okay, so you asked one question. What is that?
Oh, I am so sorry. I interrupted just now. I didn't realize Kira was asking question.
Okay.
You said just now, answering the previous student, the first step, second step, and then the last step. Then you say lose the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Losing moment is called like establish the emptiness of the moment. Okay, so when you break down the moment, then you lose the moment, but it's not that you deny the moment. Okay, it's denying the moment and establishing the emptiness of the moment is completely two different things. So here again, I'm giving you this example of, so you can see this as a, like, the what do you call this, what is the shape, like rectangle? No,
Rectangular.
rectangular, right? Rectangular. So let's say if you have have the what do you call, zoom in power, and then look at its atoms, right? So then at that point, what do we see? Will you see this rectangle? No. What will you see? You will just see the atom, right? But at that time, are you really denying this shape?
Well, I'm not sure what you. I don't know.
Right. So I would say you are not denying that shape and that, the color, but you cannot say that I'm seeing the shape and then color. Right. So neither you are not denying nor accepting, but you are somewhere that you see only the atom, and that atom is very much as the momentary. Okay, the moment that we are talking about. So when you get to the moment, you will kind of lose the conceptual mind. You lose the conceptual mind. You have to lose the conceptual mind, really. Otherwise, it's impossible. And then when you started to seeing that momentary, or that just the atom of this, let's say the atom of this particular things, then again, you are not completely transcended from this thing. You are not completely transcended from this thing. And then you have to zoom in more. And then there will be a time that you have nothing to be seen. And that is called the naked mind. That's called the naked mind, and that is called the Buddha nature, and that's called the Buddha.
But the Kambula, is that just refer to the object itself, that you break it down at the end, you look at as nothing in there. But
Yeah.
how do you can refer that to your mind that is naked mind?
Very good question. Now, I think we will touch these things in today's discussion with the Chittamatrins, because today Chandarakshita will talk. Chandarakshita will deal with the Chittamatrins' understanding of the mind, and hopefully, I think this will answer your question. Okay.
Okay.
So I think we have spent quite a lot of time, but it's worthwhile, I would say, spending time on these things. So we will do the meditation, 3 minutes meditation. So please, if you are beginner, please prepare yourself. If you are master, don't prepare, just do it. Okay, so we'll start in 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Okay, so just let me share this screen. Okay. So until last time, Shandarakshita was dealing with again like both the Sautantrika and Vaibhashika believe that. So first they believe that there's outer phenomena. So since they are existentialists who believe in the outer phenomena, and then they believe that there's outer phenomena who is truly existing, and that is you know, the smallest part of the outer phenomena, which which is the base of the all outer phenomena, is the atoms, right? The atoms. So these are truly existent. So they believe that, and that atom is so usually we call it suk, and although the suk is translated as the form, I think it's more than form. I don't know whether the photons and all and then the lights they include in they include in the form or not, but it when we say suk, then those are also like included in the suk. Okay, so then Shandarakshita by using the like the logic of, like, if you put like 6 different or 6 or 8 different and the smallest particle or atom in this as a circle, and then you put one atom in like between of them, then does it has different direction or not? So if it has, then that's not the smallest part, because it has different it is more like facet in itself. So that's why you cannot say it is the smallest one, right? And you cannot say it is a partless. So in that way, Chandarakshita kind of like refuted both the Vaibhashika and Sautantrika's understanding of the outer phenomena to be truly existent, and then said there's no truly existent, because if something is truly exists as outside phenomena, it has to be either many or single, so you cannot find out any of them. So that's why it's not truly existent outside phenomena. And then they you know, and they again try to prove that there is a outer phenomena, because, you know, without outer phenomena you cannot have this mind, and the mind is just a reflection. Everything that in your mind, the mental image is the reflection of the outer phenomena, right? Reflection of the outer phenomena. So in that way, what we can understand is there is the outer phenomena, and then also there's a mind which is truly existent. So basically like Vaibhashika and Sautantrika is giving one reason but trying to prove two things, by saying that, okay, you know, we have this mental reflection or mental, you know, we have something in our mind. It proves that we have a mind, and it proves that we have an object, right? So and then in order to refute that argument, then Shandarakshita said, you know, it is impossible to say that you know the mind, the reflection that we have in our mind is coming from the outer phenomena. So if that is the case, then so I think this argument is not really in the text, but it's a very famous argument that usually Madhyamika and then Mahayana people used to like refute the Sautantrika and Vaibhashika. So they would say that when Sautantrika said, it is a reflection of the object, then how do you know that this is this reflection is coming from the object, because you have never seen the object? Like I think it was Dennis who referred to the Plato, where they talk about the archetype, archetype, right? So even in the Plato's understanding of the archetype, then the later philosopher has argued that if you have not seen the archetype at all, then how do you know that everything that you perceive is is a resemblance of the archetype? This is a very similar debate that happening between the Mahayana and then the Sautantrikas, because Sautantrika believe that whatever you see, you cannot see the bare object. It is kind of like what do you call, covered with its shape and its the outer looks. So and then it just reflects you. So that's why you cannot see the bare object. So then Mahayana would say that if you haven't seen the object at all, then how can you say that the reflection is reflection resembles the object? So that's again like big argument. And then another argument is, when the object send the reflection, then the object is in the form of the partless particles. So when they send the reflection, do the partless particles send the reflection, or they send a whole one the reflection? So then there's two way to say it, but both of them are not. It doesn't make sense, because if they say that every individual partless particles or partless atoms send a reflection, then we should have the reflection of the particles rather than a big thing, right? So there is another discrepancy among their own philosophy, right? They are contradicting with what they are saying. The mental image is the resemblance the outer object. So here it doesn't really resemble, because it's different. The mental object is different than the true object. And then if they say that no, they are not really like sending all the particles are not sending individually a reflection, but they are sending one kind of like whole image in your mind, then again it's not the image of the object, because objects are there as in the form of partless particles, although it is structured in some it's structured in some particular way, but still they are they are there as very individual particles, which is partless. So that's why that reflection that you have in your mind doesn't really looks like the object itself. So you cannot say you see that object, because if you have the thought of a cup in your mind, and then you cannot say that I have seen a car. So the cups really, the image of the cup do not really resemble the car, right? So that's what the Mahayana usually argue with the Sautantrika and then Vaibhashika. Okay, so that is another one. Now coming to the Chittamatrin, So Chittamatrin would say, yeah, definitely you are true. Like Chandarakshita, you are true. And then even Chandakirti would also argue with this with the same kind of logic and reasoning. Then if I were like Chittamatrin guy or mind only school guy, such as Asanga or Vasubandhu, then they would say, right, you Chandakriti, you are right. And then like, because those image that we have in our mind, these are not the image that comes from the object, but rather it is already in our mind in the form of seed or in the form of like subconscious. And then when causes and condition gather together, then that seed or that cause and condition arise, and then it ripen, then it emerges in our mind, and then we think that it is outside there. So this is how it works. So that's how Chittamatrins understand the mind. And then even in terms of the Chittamatrin, they talk about two aspects of the mind: the aspect of the awareness, and then aspect of the object, mental object. Okay, aspect of the object, and then aspect of the awareness. So two, and so so that is the Chittamatrin's claim. Okay, so where it present in the stanza number 44, it says Chittathoma mejuji pacha membe jubai number tani nawaya noni jumi ranshin das. So in Chandakirti's treatise, Madhyamika Avatara, Chandakirti has mentioned very beautifully how like Chittamatrins understand the mind, and then how it projects the outer phenomena. So Chandakirti said that alaya, we call it alaya, or storage of the all storage with both samsaric things and then like nirvana. Okay, so these are the base and foundation of everything. The alaya, they call it alaya, or alaya vijnana sometimes. So both of them are same, I think, refer to the same thing. So that alaya is like the ocean, and then everything that occurs in that in our mind is like when we have the current, and then the oceans get have the currents and then waves, and it has shape and different things. So basically we have to understand three things: ocean, and then wind, and then the wave and current. So the ocean, if the ocean is the alaya, then the wind is our the residue, the karmic residue. Okay, the karmic residue. And then due to the karmic residue, like long time karmic residue, then our like ocean like alaya get what do you call that, hit by the wind, and then it will have the current, and then it will have different waves of shapes and colors as well. So this is how they define the mind, and then this is how they define every phenomena or every object that we see is coming from inside rather than the outside. Okay, so that is the theory of the mind and then object. Okay, and also in terms of the Chittamatrin, they also talk, they have also like okay, so in Chittamataran school, there are two different sub school. There's a one Chittamataran who believe that. So we talk about two aspects of the mind, right? The awareness aspect and then the object aspect, right? So the the mind only school who believe that the both of them are the awareness aspect and then the object aspect are both of them are mind, and then both of them are truly exist. So that school is called the Satyavara school, meaning the true aspectarian, meaning they believe that the object aspect is also a mind and is truly exist. Okay, so the object aspect of the mind is also mind and then is truly exist. So satya karavadin. Okay, satya means true, and karavadin means the aspect of the object of the object is true. So one school, and then another school says no, the mind is only which is the aware, and the other, the the object aspect is not the mind. It's just an illusion that is caused by our karmic residue, and then it's just an illusion. It's not true. It's not mind. So that is Nirakaravadin, or like false aspectarian school. So here the false refers to the like another aspect of the mind, which they believe that this is not the mind. It's just the illusion of illusion that occur to the awareness. Okay, so these are the two big school of the Chittamataran. The first one, the true aspectarian, who believe that both aspects are the mind and truly exist. So again, it has three sub division or sub school. So we talk about, I think this is very similar sub school as the so Tandrika. We talk in the egg is split, and then the what was the another one, like this one, and then the perceptual parity, and then perceptual disparity. So these here when we talk about these three different things, like agist, like split agist system, and then perceptual parity, and then perceptual disparity. Now these are all referred to the two aspect of the mind. Okay, so agist split system believe that we have the two aspect of the mind, like awareness, and then the object aspect. So these are like two different mind, as like you boil the egg, and then you have two colors in that egg, right? Likewise, our mind has object object side and then awareness side. So that's one thing. And then perceptual parity is, so let's say if you see 5 different colors all together, right? So when you see 5 different colors all together, then like how many mental object do you see at that point? Five or one? So here they would say you are seeing 5, whereas The egg split, would say that no, it's just a one. It's a multiple colors. They would just say it's a multiple color, and then multiple color is a one. When you say multiple color, it's a one, and then that is the object aspect, and then there's another aspect who is looking at that object, which is awareness aspect, right? So that is called the perceptual parity. Perceptual the egg is split. The split egg is because there's the object and then awareness. So these two split into two, right? And then the perceptual parity says no. When you see five different colors all together, you have five different types of object. So according to that, you must need five different awareness who is looking at that. So meaning at that point, at that time, you have 10 different minds, which is five to the object aspect, and then five who is looking at that that mind, and which is the awareness. So you have now multiple minds, right? Multiple. So that is the perceptual parity, because there's multiple minds, and then each like there is multiple aspect of the object and multiple aspect of the awareness as well. Okay, so that's the second one. And then third one is perceptual disparity. So in that case, although they talk about the true aspect, but they say although it seems true, but it's just a one. You cannot really differentiate. It's just a one. It's just a one mind. It's just a one mind. Although it seems true, like object aspect and then mental or like awareness aspect, but it's just a one. So that's how they define. So basically, these the sub schools of the true aspectarian is based on the theory of true aspect of the mind. Okay, true aspect of the mind. So split eggs would say that there's true aspect of the mind, which are completely kind of true aspect, and then there's another perceptual parity. They would say that when you perceive the multiple object at the same time, you will you have the different types of mind at the same time, right? So and then maybe you can have 5 different types of mind at this object aspect, and then 5 different types of awareness aspect. So many mind together. And the third one, this is no. Although you can have like that multiple looks like multiple minds, but it's only only one mind. Okay. So now the first one is refuting the first theory, where it says kalde yandan number si tumar juro yanane teda chigjur galdempe demi sawa suso jurus. So here now Chandarakshita is debating with the first type of theory, where they said you have true split mind, the object and then awareness, right? Awareness aspect. So again, Chandarakshita is saying, asking him, like, if when you see the multiple things together, then why do you say these are like, you know, although you see multiple colors together, then why are you saying this is the one? Like, why are you saying this is one color? And then you count as a one, you count as a one object, and then you call it a multiple color. Why are you saying that? Because it has many colors, and then it is the different objects. So since it has the different object, then the, you know, there should be the, you know, the awareness aspect should be multiple here as well, to who is looking at those, you know, the object aspect. So in that case, your mind is not just a two split, it has many split now, right? So but you know, if you really want to like accord these two minds and then make it only two, then you shouldn't talk about the, you know, multiple colors. You know, when you shouldn't talk about, you know, you can perceive the multiple colors together, because and if you talk about the multiple colors, then, you know, you are talking about the multiple minds, right? So that's why, you know, your theory is not working, because uh, the object aspect and then subject, the object aspect and then awareness aspect of the mind doesn't you know, they are not really like in accord with each other. They're not in accord with each other, because what Chandarakshita is saying is, you know, I can see many many like multiple minds in the objects aspect side, right?
Okay, just a quick question. So
Okay,
if the true aspectarians believe that the awareness arises from the alaya, that's where the mind actually arises. Where do the objects, the true objects actually, where do they arise from?
No, not true object. So the true object aspect, it's a mind thing. It's a mind. So in your mind, you have the concept of the object,
right?
The concept of the object, or the mental image of the object, and then awareness aspect. Both of them are mental, but, you know, in different form or shape, let's say, right? So when you think about this thing, and then you have the shape and the color of this, right, in your mind. So that is called the object aspect. We call it sungjin. Sungwa is the object, and then jin is the subject or the awareness. Sungjin, right? Sungjin, sungwa dan jinba. Okay, so sungwa is a mind that seems like the object, and then jinba is mind that is aware.
So then from the alaya, from the mind itself, it creates the awareness, and it also creates the object.
Yes. So now then it has the dualistic. This is called the dualistic. So when you have this dualistic, like awareness and then objects, so this is dual, right? So as long as you have this dual thing, then you are samsara. As long as you destroy the subject and object, and then it just stay calm, and then no subject and object, that's called nirvana, right? Okay, so here now, how does the subject and object looks like, and then how do they, I mean, and they said, so the first one said to split, right? To split, right? So that's why, so they are not really in accord with each other, because when you see even like how, how many objects you have in your mind now, when you look at here, 2, right? 1, 2, 2. So basically the split agist would say, no, it's only 1. It's, it's the sign of peace. A sign of peace. It's just a sign of peace. You have that object. But Chandarakshita is saying that no, it's 2, like the middle finger, and then what's this called, like
Pointer finger.
yeah, this finger 2, you can see 2. So then you have the object aspect of there are 2 object aspect of mind, which is seeing this finger and then this finger, right? So then you should have also 2 aspect, 2 awareness aspect of mind, which is looking at the object aspect. That means now it's not just 2 split, you have multiple split, right? Okay, so that is the argument. And so these arguments are kind of like not very much related with the Chittamatharin, but here Chandarakshita is saying even this kind of argument is even, it can also be applied to the Sotantrika and Sotantrika's understanding, because when you believe that there is the outer phenomena who is giving the reflection to the mind, then even you can argue the same argument to the Sotantrika. So this is what it is mentioning, okay, in this stanza number 47. Number 30 maina yodam yo laso ba chigitam yo laso talor. Oops, what's that? Oh, I think I skip over what? Okay, so I think I have skipped one, like tege when the tedaki ngwede yanda nidam ji wende mata chibuna gawa kelang disamo. So this is very important. I think this stanza number 45, where it says, this view indeed is excellent, but is this mind or mind of theirs an ultimate existent, or do they say that it is only satisfactory when left analyzed? This we shall consider. So here, what Chandarakshita is saying is that, when you talk about the two, two aspects of the mind, the object aspect and then subject aspect, are you talking about the ultimate in the ultimate sense, or you are just talking about in a relative sense? So if you are talking about in a relative sense, this is perfect, excellent. But if you are talking about in the ultimate sense, then we have to consider, then we have to talk about more carefully. Okay, so here Chandarakshita is not really like he has no problem with the theory of having two aspects of the mind, or not even Chandarakshita has really, he doesn't have a problem if you say that there is the outer phenomena, but that's just in a relative truth. Chandarakshita has no problem. Even if you say there's outer phenomena in a relative sense, no problem. But he has problem when you say there's a truly existent phenomena, even in the ultimate sense, right? So Chandarakshita is one of the really a great master who has this really like broaden or open-minded guy, I would say, open-minded master, because Chandakriti, I would say he wouldn't argue if you say that there's no outer phenomena. He would definitely in the if you say that there's no phenomena in the relative sense, then he would, I think Chandrakirti will argue with that guy. But for people like, master like Shantarakshita, if you say there's no outer phenomena for him, okay. Even in the relative sense, okay, no problem, because he can accept the Chittamatrin's understanding, right? And then if someone comes to Shantarakshita and said, okay, there should be outer phenomena at least in the relative sense, Shantarakshita would say, okay, good, I'm happy, it's okay, because in the relative sense, it's okay to say there's outer phenomena, right? So that's why he is one of the really like open-minded guy who has not really like kind of only one position to like cherish, but rather he is the person who I think sympathize the other people and trying to empathize and then understand the other's understanding rather than he imposing his own understanding to the others ahead. Okay, so that's that one. And then okay, so so this one was like the first one, the argument to the split against kalde yandan number je tumajuro yanani teda chijur galdem teda chidur galdem be dumisa susujurus. So that was, I think we discussed that one. And then number thade maina yoda miyo la soba chigi chigi thamje yo la so thalor jude lendab kas. So basically here again arguing with the split aegis one, where this says when you see this thing, and then if you say this is only one mind, only one like object aspect of the mind, then you have to say this finger is that finger and that finger is this finger, because they are same. It's only one object, right? It's only one object. So if this is the only one object, then this has to be this one and this has to be this one, right? So if the aspects are not different, this aspect are talking about the aspect of the object, okay, not the awareness. So when you see this in your mind, and then if this and this are two, not two aspect, but one aspect, then you have to say this aspect is this one, this aspect is this one. So in that case, when you see black and blue together, black and blue together, black and white together, then you have to say black is white and white is black, right? So that's what Shantarakshita is, and that is why the theory of split aegis is not good. But I think for in terms of the relative sense, maybe he has no problem. Again, I would say not big problem, because in the relative sense, you can say, I mean, you can say so weird things. Like you can talk about the ghost. I mean, it can be true in the relative sense in some situation, but there's also theory of no ghost, right? In no ghost. So like it really like depends on the situation. So that's why Chandrakirti is not so much. Yeah, I think again, if I compare the Buddhist philosophy and then Western philosophy, because there's a really very similar so many similarity between the Western philosophy and then the Buddhist philosophy, and then I think the main difference between them is one of the main different understanding between the Western philosophy and then Buddhist philosophy is Buddhist philosopher, most of the Buddhist philosophers understand the everything is due to causes and condition. So that's why anything can be possible. So that is the idea, the interdependence. But whereas if you ask like, people like Jimmy Bentham, and then, people like Kant, when they talk about it, the morality, it can be political, or it can, just a social morality, then they talks about like ultimate morality, that something can be like really applied for the universal, applied to universal. It's not depend on some situation or depend on something, some conditions. Like it has to be universal. So that is the big, I think, a big difference, because they have like, okay, if it is really conditioned, then anything can be happen. So that's why the morality should not be depend on conditions, causes and different conditions. Whereas Buddhists would always say that everything is due to causes and condition. You cannot escape, right? Anyway, 치료든지 술라야 대단 넘버 modern 나서 찌기 추수 탐제장 주버주든 도범에서. So this kind of argument which talk about like if this is only one, then it has to be this one, and this one, they mixed up. So this kind of argument is also can be also applied to the outer phenomena as well. Like if so people who believe that, okay, this is my hand and it's only one. If you say that it's only one thing, one thing, then you have to say, okay, so if these are only one thing, then this is this and this is that. So like that's why the same logic and argument can be also applied to the outer phenomena as well. Okay. Okay, so we have more. Okay, we will just do three more stanzas. Number so now theory of the perceptual parity. So here Shandarakshita is again kind of similar argument by saying that, okay, if you say there's a cognition as many as the mental aspect, like 5 object aspect, and then 5 mental object aspect, and then awareness object, and then there's like different 10 different mental objects, or that correlates with each other, then you cannot say that is a mind which has which is partless, right? You cannot say that it is a partless. As long as you have the image or image of shape, color, size, then you cannot really talk about it. Talk about the partless, because there is a facet even to the smallest part of or the shape and colors and size, right? So that is about the second theory of parity and the perceptual parity. And then moving on to the next, which is the perceptual disparity. Namke kujin luksam ji naso jigbe ranjin min linjin naso lasoda. So the perceptual disparity talks about, okay, so although it looks like, you have the awareness aspect and then object aspect, two aspects of the mind, but it's only one. If you say it that way, then Shandarakshita is saying that it's very much like Charvaka's theory. Like Charvaka's talk about, everything is one. Everything is included in one. Like white, black, blue, everything is color, one. American, Indian, Nepali, Tibetan, one human. Easy, right? Human. So if you say that way, then like everything become one. Then you cannot really like differentiate. So that's why, by saying these two aspects of the mind is only one, it doesn't make sense. So if everything is one, then how can you say that the darkness is white and then white is the darkness? So because they are kind of completely opposite. Okay, so we will stop here, and then I think Julian, Jocelyn, your again, I think your question is not answered yet, because it is yet to become on the false aspectarian. Okay.
It's okay.
False aspect. Yeah. Okay. So maybe so we will cover that tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you, Kimbola.
Sanamdi damje subonye tanamni bedano bamjene jagan je bolon to ba sebe chole do water war show jambal bo chidara chimbala kondo sambo de andishin da kuji sto ke wa de da damje la do chenju simjo rum bo chema ke panan ju ke wanya ma konne kondo pelwa show. Thank you and have a very, very good night. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you for sharing the teachings.
Thank you, Kimbola. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Aloha.
Thank you. Good night.